So let's see how to connect with SQL Developer with Oracle 21c XE. The first thing is you need to download the SQL Developer from Oracle's website. So this is what I have done so far. So if you see here, uh, this is the location. Uh, if you even if you Google for SQL Developer, then you'll be redirected to the same page. So here we need to use the with JDK version. Okay, you use with JDK version. So this is what I recommend, because most of the students what they do is they download simply with the Windows 32 or 64-bit version, and they do not have its corresponding say JDK version. Okay, so I recommend you just have the JDK included version. So once you download it, it will be some of this format, and once you extract it, it will be of something of this folder. Okay, now once you're done with that, just verify whether you are being able to connect with Oracle database or not. For my instance, let me see, to connect SQL Plus at the rate say xepdb1. You know what I'm trying to achieve. So this is the password. Mm-hmm. Okay, so let me show you. So the user currently is okay, fine. So Gulf is connected. If I have to see the tables right now, I don't have any. Fine. So far, so good. So let's try to connect it with SQL Server now. Sorry, let's try to connect it with SQL Developer now. Okay. So this is the tool. This is the GUI. So once you come back here and once you launch it, and if it's your first time, it might take considerable amount of time depending upon the RAM that you have. Okay, so it says, do you want to import? Just because I had the previous versions over here, so it's trying to import few of the SQL Developer installation preferences, but I would like to do that. Okay, so if you can see here, at this interface, all of your listeners or all of your listeners are connected right here. So the path where the default connection is established. But what you need to do is go to the plus like icon on your top left corner and try to connect to say Sculpt and getting connected to the server. So since the user is KALP and the password is as well, I want to save the password for meanwhile, and I want to connect is using the TNS. Okay, so if you see xcpdb1 and you need to test it. If everything runs fine, there will be success over here, so I'll say simply connect. Now if you look at on your left, we have a connectivity called gulp and it's open meanwhile. So this interface that you see here is is called SQL pin. There you write all of the commands and then you try to execute it. Just for the time being, I'll make some settings, preferences. I'll go to the code editor and go to the fonts. I'll try to increase it to 18 or maybe 20 depending upon uh, the size you're comfortable with. Okay, fine. So over here if I have to write any comments, I would have to say dash dash blank space, and then to see the user privileged tables. So what are the list of tables that are under the privilege of this particular user, whoever is connected? So the command says show select table name, select table underscore name from tabs. So this is the command. Once you terminate it with the semicolon, if you have to execute it, you simply say Control Enter. And just because we don't have any, if you see here, the result over here is blank. So if you want to see the SQL, what SQL did we write? So we write something like this. Okay. So once you have the SQL pane, if you want to clear it, you can simply say, you can clear everything right here, or you could say refresh and the command runs again. Well, coming back here, at this point of time, you have so many different options over here on the top. Select the statement and then hit play button. So the statement that been selected, and if you run the play button or run a statement, then this particular command will get executed. After a while, let's say I just want to create a table. Create table. So I would say create table table, let's say dummy. And here if I say, let's say um, test call, which is of integer type, which is of primary key. Okay, for meanwhile, this is just uh, a sample table. Okay, so this says table dummy created. Now if you go back and hit refresh, so this is the advantage that you have. All your commands are written, and now you do not need to use the up and down arrow key that you used to do in SQL Plus or command line interfaces. Okay, so that's the advantage that you get. All your commands are right here, and then you can finally save it. You can save it to say, let me go back to home, and then I create a folder called SQL commands. Fine, and I would say rather say DDL statements. Perfect. What does that give me? An advantage. So once you do not have a file, or if you are somewhere else, then you could say open, and then you could locate to your own folder SQL commands, and you could reopen your file and try to execute one after another by simply, without any selection, if you say click, then from the top to bottom all of the command will be executed on a given connection. See, it says it tried to connect, or it tried to create the dummy table again. The already you have message name is already used by the existing object. Pretty good. So if I have to remove this table, then what would I do? To remove the table, what would I do? The command would have been, just to make some space for myself, drop table name is called dummy. And if you have to execute it, you simply say Control Enter. So the table has been removed. Similarly, uh, other commands can be executed in the similar fashion. So what you saw for a while is how to connect using uh, your SQL Developer. Your SQL Developer, I have the current version of 21.4. You could have some of your own, and then all of these properties are not of your concern meanwhile, and I don't think this would be of your concern as well. But it's as simple as that. You do not need to install it. You simply unzip the file. You simply unzip the file and you try to run the SQL Developer. It's a no install file, okay? You do not need to install it. You simply execute and you're done. This is the downloaded version, and this is the extracted version. You do not need to install. Hopefully that will help. So let's get prepared. Let's get prepared for tomorrow. Your class activities will be considering all of these things. Instead, if you like to, you can create your own, say, instance, or you could again create another. So if you see here, if you extend, you have lot many things that we have to explore one after another inside the class. Okay, so if I have tables, I can see it right here. If I have views, I can see it under this. If I have indexes, I have packages, we have functions, and there are a lot many database objects that we need to look after it. Fine then, see you in the class, and yeah, just install it appropriately. See if things work for you. If there is anything that's missing, then we'll together figure it out.